Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Extended. Chapter 3. The Offer. After the funeral, Professor McGonagall approached Harry. "Take a walk with me, Potter," she said. Harry turned to Ron, Hermione and Ginny, shrugged, then fell into step with the headmistress. It was not long before he had to slow his pace. Sometimes he forgot how old she was. Professor McGonagall glanced at him, then back at the setting sun. "I couldn't help but overhear your last remark, after your speech. What did you mean by it?" Harry inwardly grimaced. "Oh, nothing, Professor." The headmistress sighed. "Potter, I know how you're feeling. The Muggles study this sort of thing, in the field of psychology. They call it survivor's guilt. You are ashamed that you lived when so many others did not." Harry felt tears springing up in his eyes and looked away rather than embarrass himself. He began to mutter a reply, but could not find the words. Professor McGonagall stopped walking and stared out at the rolling hills beyond the grounds as she continued speaking. "I imagine you're not the only one who feels this way. Don't you think Arthur and Molly would change places with their son in an instant, if they could? But they cannot, Potter. The ones we cared for sacrificed themselves so that we could go on living. We must, therefore, do our best to honour their memories by living life to the fullest, as they would have wanted. They would not have wanted us to wallow in self-pity, wishing we could have done more. We cannot save everyone, as much as we would want to." Harry nodded. "You're right, Professor." Professor McGonagall placed a hand on his shoulder. "I'm sorry if I sound harsh, but I wanted to stop this train of thought you seem to be on. If left unchecked, it can become a poison." Without being aware he was doing it, Harry stepped in and hugged her. "I appreciate it, Professor. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Since the beginning. All of it." Professor McGonagall initially stiffened, then relaxed and placed her arms around him, patting him on the back. Harry had never had grandparents, and it was only now he realised the headmistress was the closest thing he had to one. He stepped away and they both chuckled awkwardly. "You'll be all right, Potter. But first, you deserve some rest. The castle is at your disposal. I imagine you will navigate it as you see fit, as you have always done." She grinned. Harry smiled sheepishly. "Thank you, Professor." Harry spent the next 3 days wandering the castle and its grounds with Hermione and the Weasleys. There were sections of Hogwarts so damaged that they were not safe to enter, but repairs had already begun and the buildings were slowly being reconfigured. Teachers and members of the ministry could be seen gathered in groups, their wands pointing in the same direction, their eyes closed with concentration. As Harry watched them, their point of focus, be it a wall, roof or doorway, reformed, with its glorious design intact. Harry was sure he felt a tingle of magic, as if a flow had been restored, whenever something was fixed near to him. One by one, the members of the Order of the Phoenix left the castle, to return to their various jobs. Kingsley Shacklebolt had been the first to go. As the temporary minister, it was up to him to sort out the chaos the Ministry of Magic had become. Before he left, he had asked to speak to Harry, Ron and Hermione alone. They had followed him into an empty classroom, where he leaned on the front of the teacher's desk. He gestured for them to sit, and as Harry took a place in the front row of desks, his heart ached with a painful nostalgia of his school years. "My friends," Kingsley began, "I would like to start by thanking you, on behalf of myself, the ministry, why, the entire wizarding world. You have given up so much this last year, put aside your own desires, comforts, and risked it all to serve a greater cause. We all owe you a debt we can never repay." "We don't want anything, Minister," Hermione said. "We're just happy it's over." As am I, Miss Granger, Kingsley replied. Be that as it may, we as a community must give back to those who helped bring about this new peace. Though you are all of age, you are still young, and you have your whole futures ahead of you. Please, tell me what it is you would like to happen next for yourselves, and if it is within my power, I will see it done. A brief silence followed. Hermione was the first to speak. Well, first I'm going to find my parents. I wiped their memories and sent them to Australia, but if I can, I'd like to bring them back. Kingsley nodded. But of course, you will have the full support of the Ministry in this. I will send 2 of my best obliviators with you. With their help, I have no doubt you will be able to restore your parents' memories. Thank you, Minister, Hermione said, smiling. And then, I'd like to come back here. I want to get my newts. I know I'm a bit older now, but... She trailed off. Kingsley held up a hand. Don't worry yourself about that, Miss Granger. You will be re-enrolled for the coming year, beginning on the 1st of September, if that is your wish. Yes, sir. Thank you, Hermione said. She looked hopefully at Ron and squeezed his hand. And what about you 2 gentlemen? Kingsley asked. Would you like to return to Hogwarts to finish your studies? Harry and Ron shared a glance, and Harry knew they were thinking the same thing. As much as he had missed the castle, another year of school, after months of living in the wild, did not appeal to him. He could not go back to being a student, of stressing about exams and homework and petty classroom cliques. The world had grown too big for him to return to the Hogwarts bubble. Ron cleared his throat. I don't want to come back, Minister. But I do think, I'd still like to be an Auror. But I guess I'd need newts for that, so... Kingsley nodded. Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. But these are not normal circumstances, Mr. Weasley. You have demonstrated all the qualities that an Auror needs to possess many times over. I think the Ministry can make a special exception for you. You will, however, still be required to take the test that any aspiring Auror must pass before joining the department. Yes, sir. Of course, sir, Ron said, grinning. Kingsley grinned back. I have no doubt you will succeed. I am happy to tutor you myself, if necessary. And I am glad you will be entering our ranks. I am sure you 3 understand that the work is far from over. Voldemort is gone, yes, but many of his Death Eaters escaped and scattered. The Ministry is still interspersed with his supporters, who must be rooted out. I do not need to tell you that the entire organisation is in desperate need of reform. I would value your assistance and input in doing so. Definitely, sir, Ron said. Kingsley turned to Harry. And now, Mr. Potter, I would understand completely if you want to be away from the limelight for a while. I can assure you that no one from the Ministry or the Daily Prophet will contact you unless and until you are ready for them to do so. Thank you, Minister, Harry said. And so, what path will you take, Mr. Potter? Do you wish to re-enroll in Hogwarts and complete your studies? Or, I understand you also expressed interest in becoming an Auror. Perhaps your recent experiences have led that ambition to change. He smiled and opened his arms. The floor is yours, young man. Harry hesitated, turning and staring out of the window for a second. A snowy owl flew past, and he immediately thought of Hedwig. The image sent a searing pain through his chest. He could not rest, not yet. There was more to be done. Well, if it's also an option for me to, skip the newts and still become an Auror, I'd like to do that, sir. Kingsley held out his hand and Harry took it. It is done. I am looking forward to working with you, Mr. Potter.